My wife gave me divorce papers on Christmas. Her family cheered until she opened her eviction notice. The celebration ended pretty damn quick. Update 3. My wife collapsed back into the chair, finally understanding the magnitude of what she'd lost. Wait, can we talk about this privately? Maybe we can work something out. Work what out exactly? I asked. You just handed me divorce papers in front of your entire family. You made this public, so let's keep it public. Her mother looked around the room helplessly. Maybe you could stay with us for a while, honey. Just until you figure things out. The silence that followed was telling. Her father shifted uncomfortably. Her brother suddenly found his coffee cup fascinating. Her sister stared at the floor. Actually, her father said slowly, our guest room is being renovated, and with your mother's back problems we can't really handle the extra stress right now. My wife's jaw dropped. Are you serious? I'm your daughter. You're also a grown woman who made some very poor decisions, her mother said quietly. We love you but we can't enable this behavior. Her sister cleared her throat. We don't have room either. The baby's crib is in the spare bedroom, and with my husband's work schedule, one by one her family found excuses. The same people who'd been celebrating her divorce, were now backing away from actually helping her deal with the consequences. So that's it, my wife said, her voice breaking. You're all just going to abandon me. Nobody's abandoning you, her brother said, but you need to take responsibility for your actions. Figure out how to fix this mess you created. She turned to me with desperation in her eyes. Please, I made mistakes. Okay, I admit it. But we can work through this. We can go to counseling. I'll pay back the money. With what money? I asked. You don't have a job. You don't have savings. You don't even have a credit score anymore after maxing out those cards. I'll get a job. I'll do whatever it takes. I looked at her for a long moment. 6 months ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, those words might have meant something. But not anymore. You know what the funny thing is? I said. If you just talked to me about the money problems we could have worked it out. If you'd admitted you had a gambling problem, we could have gotten you help. If you'd been honest about anything we might have saved this marriage. I'm being honest now, she pleaded. No, you're being desperate. There's a difference. I stood up and walked toward the door. You made your choice when you decided to lie, steal and cheat your way out of our problems. You made your choice when you planned this public humiliation. You made your choice when you handed me those divorce papers. Her family watched in silence as she broke down completely. The confident woman who'd orchestrated this whole scene was gone, replaced by someone who finally understood what she'd thrown away. 30 days, I said from the doorway. That's what the law requires. That's what you're getting. Use them wisely. Her mother called after me. Where are you going? I turned back one last time. Home, to my house, to start the rest of my life without someone who thought I was stupid enough to let her destroy me. As I walked to my car, I could hear her sobbing through the window. Her family was trying to comfort her, but their voices were different now. The celebration was over. Reality had set in. I sat in my car for a moment, processing what had just happened. For months I'd felt like I was losing my mind, questioning my own judgment, wondering if I was the problem. Now, I knew the truth, and the truth had set me free. 3 weeks later, I was sitting in my living room, actually enjoying the silence. No drama, no lies, no walking on eggshells, wondering what financial bomb was going to explode next, just peace. She'd moved out 2 days ago, taking only what was legally hers, which as it turned out wasn't much. Her clothes, her personal items, and the crushing weight of $30,000 in debt that was now entirely her problem. The divorce was moving quickly. When one party has documented evidence of financial fraud, and the other party has no assets to fight over, lawyers tend to work efficiently. My attorney estimated another month before everything was finalized. I changed the locks the day she left, changed the alarm code too. Funny how much safer your own home feels when you're not worried about someone sneaking around behind your back. My phone buzzed, a text from her sister. She's staying at a motel downtown. Lost her job at the retail store for missing too many shifts. Thought you should know. I deleted the message without responding. Her family had made their position clear that Christmas morning. They'd celebrated when they thought I was the one getting kicked out. Now that the tables had turned, they expected me to feel sorry for her. That wasn't how this worked. The house felt different now. Bigger somehow. I'd rearranged the furniture, gotten rid of things that reminded me of her lies. The credit card statements I'd found hidden in her jewelry box were now evidence in my lawyer's files. The gambling apps she tried to delete from her laptop had been recovered by a forensic specialist. Everything was documented. Everything was legal. Everything was final. My lawyer had called yesterday with an update. She tried to contest the eviction, claiming I'd abandoned her without support. The judge had reviewed the evidence and dismissed her motion in under 10 minutes. Financial fraud against a spouse, combined with filing for divorce, meant she had no grounds to claim abandonment. I walked into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator. It actually had food in it now. Amazing how much grocery money you save when you're not unknowingly funding someone's gambling addiction. The doorbell rang. I looked through the window and saw her standing on the porch looking smaller than I remembered. I opened the door but didn't invite her in. I need to talk to you, she said. We're divorced in 3 weeks. Whatever you need to say, your lawyer can say it to my lawyer. I don't have a lawyer anymore, she admitted. I can't afford one. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. Then I remembered the hotel receipts, the secret credit cards, the months of lies. That's unfortunate, I said, but not my problem. I'm sleeping in my car, she said quietly. You're 32 years old with a college degree. Figure it out. She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. What happened to you? You used to care about people. I still care about people, I replied. I just learned the difference between people who deserve my care, and people who exploit it. She stood there for another minute, maybe hoping I'd change my mind, maybe waiting for the old me to emerge and invite her back in. But that version of me was gone. He died somewhere between finding the gambling debts, and realizing his wife had been planning his humiliation for weeks. The man I married wouldn't have done this, she said finally. The woman I married wouldn't have needed me to, I replied and closed the door. I watched through the window as she walked back to her car. She sat there for a few minutes, probably crying, probably hoping I'd come after her. I didn't. 6 months ago, I thought my job was to save her from her problems. Now I understood that my job was to save myself from becoming her next victim. Best decision I ever made. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely.